50 people are dead and 53 injured in Orlando, Florida, following the most horrific mass shooting in our country to date. Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer says 40 people were shot and killed inside the gay club Pulse, including the shooter Omar Mateen. 9 were transported to the hospital and died either en route or at the hospital, and 2 were killed outside the nightclub. Craig Boswell has more from Orlando.
Oh my God.
Shots rang out after police arrived at a gay nightclub in Orlando. Investigators say Omar Mateen entered the crowded Pulse Club around 2 a.m. Sunday with an AR-15 assault rifle and started firing. Christopher Hansen was partying with friends.
Was hearing the bang, 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 thought it was part of a song. And then when you turn around, the person next to you is like screaming, there's blood splattering. I didn't know if it was mine or somebody else's.
People ran for the exits. Some of the injured had to be taken to the hospital in pickup trucks because there weren't enough ambulances. Friends and family came to the scene looking for loved ones.
But I don't know where my son is. No one can tell me where my son is. If he's been shot, if he's dead, no one knows.
Most people got out, but the gunman managed to take hostages. Mina Justice talked to her son on the phone while he was trapped in a bathroom.
He sound bad, just afraid he's gonna die.
3 hours after the shooting started, a SWAT team decided to enter the club.
Witnesses living just yards from the club describe a large armored vehicle ramming the back of the club and then a long volley of gunfire.
We heard probably about 60 or 70 rounds.
David Ward was able to capture the shooting on his cell phone. The SWAT team killed Mateen, a 29-year-old U.S. citizen from Florida who worked as a security guard. He purchased the weapons legally and had been on the FBI's radar. Sources tell CBS News Mateen called 911 and pledged allegiance to ISIS. The president says the shooting is being investigated as an act of terrorism.
I've directed that we must spare no effort to determine what, if any, inspiration or association this killer may have had with terrorist groups.
ISIS is claiming responsibility for the brutal attack, calling Mateen an Islamic State fighter.
Officials say during that 911 call, suspect Omar Mateen also mentioned the Boston bombers after pledging his allegiance to ISIS. The gunman's father told reporters that his son had become angry in the past when he saw 2 men kissing. The Orlando police chief says Mateen was, quote, organized and well prepared. President Obama said in a speech earlier this afternoon that we know enough to say this was an act of terror and an act of hate.
This is an especially heartbreaking day for all of our friends, our fellow Americans who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. The shooter targeted a nightclub where people came together to be with friends, to dance and to sing and to live. The place where they were attacked is more than a nightclub. It is a place of solidarity and empowerment where people have come together to raise awareness, to speak their minds, and to advocate for their civil rights. So this is a sobering reminder that attacks on any American, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, or sexual orientation, is an attack on all of us.
Hundreds of people in Orlando lined up today for hours to donate blood. 53 victims of the shooting were injured, bringing the community together to help in any way possible. And this evening here in Amarillo, a group of residents gathered together for a candlelight vigil to honor the victims and their lives in Orlando. Panhandle Pride hosted the event at the Metropolitan Community Church of Amarillo. The pastor of the church read verses from the Bible, the Torah, and the Quran, focusing on the need for unity in a time of heartbreak. Each member in attendance lit a candle to honor the victims, coming together to pray for peace for all families affected.
Due to the attacks last night on our community, and it's not just an attack on our community, it's just an attack period by a terrorist. We're coming together as a candlelight vigil services to offer prayer, thoughts, and to come together as a community and console each other.
Since very few victims have been identified, the service focused on supporting those people who do not yet know if their loved ones survived the shooting. And today's event garnered reaction from our local and state political leaders as well. Area Congressman Mac Thornberry said his family's thoughts and prayers are with this morning's victims and their families, and said, quote, "This attack is a sobering reminder of the lethal reach of a murderous ideology, one we must fully confront if we hope to defeat it. Those words were largely echoed by Texas Senator Ted Cruz, who said, quote, "Enough is enough. What we need is for every American, Democrat and Republican, to come together, abandon political correctness, and unite in defeating radical Islamic terrorism." And finally, Governor Greg Abbott tweeted this photo out today after the state flag of Florida was put on display at the governor's mansion in a show of support for the state. News Channel 10 will be working through the night to keep you updated on this shooting. Tune in tomorrow morning to News Channel 10's early show for the latest. You can also keep up with our continuing coverage on our Facebook page and our website, newschannel10.com. That's also where you can find the names of the few victims whose identities have been confirmed.